division title.
Yeah!
The game of the night is the game of the week.
My goodness.
Ravens and Browns picks and predictions. Plus, with Big Ben talking retirement.
And the Bills take the lead.
What really went down last night in New York?
Diggs is crushing the Steelers.
Whose hope is alive? Whose race is run? Who just wrapped the playoff picture? And who just sounded the baller alert? This is NFL Total Access. Welcome to NFL Total Access presented by Bridgestone. I'm your host, MJ Acosta-Ruiz. The start of your work week means the close of ours in the NFL. Willie McGinnis, David Carr, and Steve Mariucci are all here to talk all things Week 14. And we're getting you set for our Monday night battle in the AFC North. The Ravens and Browns is our NFL Total Access game of the week. David Carr, let's kick this one off, my friend. The Ravens, of course, need a win tonight to keep pace in this hunt for the postseason. But listen, the Browns are not letting up an inch. They have won 4 in a row. What are you looking for tonight?
Yeah, this is a great contest. Obviously, division matchup, and this goes back to Week 1 when these teams played, and it was a different, Browns team. It was a different Ravens team, and what really stood out, in that game, I don't think is going to stand out here. I think the Browns are playing with a lot of confidence. They've won, obviously, 4 straight, so they have a feeling that they're getting things turned in the right direction. They're 9-3. They're ready to get after these guys and kind of get back at what happened Week 1. And what happened Week 1 is a distant memory because Baker Mayfield is playing fantastic football. He didn't play fantastic in Week 1, but the run game has been consistent. I think this offense fits him to a T. This is absolutely perfect. Chubb running the football. Baker had a great game just last week against the Titans. That was a huge win for them. This will be another huge win for them. But then Lamar Jackson threw the ball incredibly well the first week. I mean, off the charts well. Now, he hasn't been the same the rest of the year throwing the football. I expect the Browns are going to make him make the same throws he made in Week 1. Do it again. Prove that you can beat us from the pocket. That's what they're going to ask them to do. They're going to play tough run defense. It's going to be a lot of fun.
David, you mentioned both of these QBs really trying to show off that arm earlier in the season. Tonight, the battle, to me, is on the ground, without question. But we go from one big AFC matchup to the one that closed out Sunday's action.
This is one of those games. You want to be the best, you have to beat the best.
Roethlisberger takes the shotgun snap, going to throw it, fires it, is picked off, intercepted by Taron Johnson in midfield, running down the right sideline, he's going to score, touchdown Buffalo. Josh Allen fires it quickly, caught at the 14-yard line by Diggs. Diggs inside the 5, headed to the end zone, he is in, Stephon Diggs, touchdown.
Allen's got time, strokes it in the middle, one more time. Again, it's Diggs wide open, and Diggs on the run. Diggs is crushing the Steelers in the second half.
Cocks his arm, fires into the end zone, caught, touchdown Buffalo.
Shot downfield for Washington, and it's intercepted. Levi Wallace takes it away from Buffalo. Bills players on defense doing the celebrating.
Ooh, the sideline was hype. A big win for the Bills, who remain in third place in the AFC playoff picture. As for the Steelers, they've dropped to the number 2 spot after taking back-to-back losses. But what a game for Josh Allen. I mean, the young QB getting high praise from Hall of Famer and Bills legend Jim Kelly via social media. Jill Kelly actually quoting him here. Josh is going to break every record I have. Love to hear it, she says. Same, Jill. Same. But let's not forget his offensive powerhouse receiver Stephon Diggs getting some love from Odell Beckham Jr. Odell saying, just turn the TV on. Stephon Diggs couldn't watch anything better than this dude. I mean, it's prime time. That's what you want to see. This was absolutely incredible.
Yep.
William Mooch. No doubt the Bills offense, something to watch here. I love Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs and the dynamic that they have built, this rhythm. I mean, Stephon Diggs, Willie, 130 receiving yards last night.
10 receptions, and he leads the league in receptions. And I'm back on the train, Bills Mafia. Yes, I picked the Bills in this game.
First class on the train.
Yes, first class. But you talked about the chemistry. Josh Allen is doing a good job delivering the football. But Stephon Diggs, when you talk about a complete receiver having all the intangibles and all the tools to be great, he has it. So when you watch him on tape and you watch this exome about the show, you got to be able to beat the jam, right, Coach?
Beat the
if
jam.
you can't get off the line, you're not getting the rock. Watch his inside hand right here. Sutton is going to try to jam him. Swipe. You see him beat the inside hand right here?
Oh,
Watch the second part of this. After he gives him the swipe and beats the jam, he gives him a nice, quick shove. Now, I knew Stephon Diggs had sticky hands. I didn't know he was this strong. He shoved this man almost 10 yards down the field to help create a little separation. He gets the ball, he finished the play. All right? The next thing of being a great receiver is you got to have great concentration, right? And you got to be able to make and run your routes through traffic, knowing you're going to get hit. He's going to run a slant right here, does a good job of getting off the ball once again. So he gets off the ball. Look now, the ball is delivered between two defenders. He's getting hit as he's catching the ball. Great concentration. Watch what happens when his feet hits the ground. Off and running. He is gone. Getting and picking up a huge gain yardage. That is tough to do. Now you got to be able to beat guys in off coverage, okay? Here's the off coverage. He's going against Steve Nelson right here. He's going to attack the outside shoulder, making Nelson think that he's going to try to run a go route or fade or hit the pylon. Right now, Nelson is beat, okay? He attacked it, gave him a nice stick move. He's on the ground with his legs up in the air. He's partying while Stephon Diggs is waiting for the ball. Big playability. Once you get the ball in your hand, you got to be able to finish. So he has the big playability as well to finish the play. He took the hit, he broke the tackles, and he scored the touchdown. That's right, MJ. I said he had the man on the ground with his legs in the air. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Okay, I get
He's
it
a bad man. That's what he did.
Okay, I get it. You know what else I can say? Fear the turtle. You know what that means? That's a Maryland reference. That's where he went to college. Okay. Anyway, this trade between the Bills and the Vikings was a win-win for both teams, right?
Absolutely.
This is a terrific receiver now for the Bills and Josh Allen going forward. And, of course, the Vikings got Justin Jefferson. But let's talk about those Steelers, okay, that we watched. That's not the same Steelers that we were watching earlier in the season. Now, I'll give them this. They got guys on defense hurt, right? You got Bud Dupree came out last week, and you got Devin Bush gone, and Spillane gone, Joe Hayden didn't play, and so they're not the same. The strength of that team was the defense, wasn't it? But then you even look on offense, and you start questioning the style of offense that they're playing. I get it. You got a quarterback with a surgical elbow that you need to protect. You got to get rid of the ball quickly, right? 2.2 seconds or less. Get it out. They haven't been catching the ball very well, right? They haven't been running the ball. You ever hear that saying by Jim Morris Sr.? We didn't run the ball. We didn't try to run the ball. We didn't do diddly-poo, all right? They're not doing diddly-poo in the run game. Not to mention, when you don't run the ball, you don't have any play-action game, all right, to affect linebackers in coverage. So they've lost some players. They've lost some mojo. And they got a tough schedule coming up. They still have games against Indy and Cleveland.
That's the word I was looking for, Mooch, because you said it earlier. They didn't just lose the game. They've lost that mojo. But diddly-poo is the new one. No, that's the new one. I'm adding that to the vernacular list. What? All right. Guys, this is never-ending saga. And guess what? This week we have a mega serving of football. Listen up. Circle it for Saturday on your calendar. Bills, Broncos, followed by Panthers, Packers, exclusively for you right here on the NFL Network. But let's take a look back at some of our Sunday games and what went down in that action. Vikings at Buccaneers. Commissioner Goodell and his wife Jane in the house for this one. Casual. Second quarter, Bucs trailing 6-0. Third and 4 for Brady, who has plenty of time in the pocket. Goes deep over the top to Scotty Miller for the 48-yard touchdown. Bucs win 26-14. Brady avoids his second career 3-game losing streak. Saints at Eagles. All eyes on that man. Jalen Hurts making his first NFL start. Second quarter we go. No scores. Eagles going for it on 4th and 2. Under pressure, Jalen hits Alshon Jeffrey for the 15-yard touchdown. A nod to his frat Omega Psi Phi for the culture. Eagles take a 7-0 lead. Later in the second, Eagles up by 10. Miles Sanders, my goodness, breaks through the line and takes it 82 yards for the score. It's the longest running play by an Eagles player in 20 years. Philly wins it 24-21 in an upset. Good for you, Jalen Hurts. What happened after the game?
One thing when I look back on this game, a lot of money on the table for us. A lot of money on the table we left out there. So we're very excited. We got a W today against a really good team. But we're going to go back to work. We got a 24-hour rule on this thing, and we clearly understand that. So a lot to work on, lots to build on. And I'm excited to go practice, honestly. Go back and get ready for the next game.
After going through the film and really looking back even to last week and the preparation and everything, I'm gonna continue with Jalen this week as the starter.
So now here's the NFC playoff picture. New Orleans already clinched a playoff berth, but with this loss to Philly, they drop to the 2 seed. The Packers have the 1 seed now with their win over the Lions on Sunday. Washington still in first place in the NFC East, but the Eagles don't count them out just yet with that upset win yesterday. All right, let's welcome in Kurt Warner, who is at the Monday night game in Cleveland. And Kurt, you set your expectations last week for what Jalen Hurts could possibly do in this one. What did you like from him? What was your assessment of the young QB?
I'll tell you what, MJ, we could sit here and we can break down, every play and how he did in the past game and obviously what he did with his legs. But what I like the most is that it never seems like the moment is too big for Jalen Hurts. And whatever he needs to do, we can go all the way back to Alabama. They played a different style. Then he goes to Oklahoma. They ask him to throw it around and be a playmaker. Yesterday, hey, it wasn't all about throwing the ball 35 times, but it was about making plays, do the right thing in the moment, give us a chance to win. That, to me, is what's been most impressive about Jalen Hurts. Every step of his journey is that he just steps up and says, hey, what do you need me to do? I will do that and give us a chance to win every time out.
We love to see it, Kurt, because it's just a glimpse at what we can expect from him moving on. All right, let's pivot to tonight's game because we, of course, remember that week 1 meeting between the Ravens and the Browns. The Ravens, of course, dominated this one. But not only is it a different week, it feels like a completely different world. The landscape of the NFL looks totally changed now. What are you expecting from tonight's just battle in this division?
Well, everybody's going to talk about the run game of these two teams, obviously, number 1 and number 2 in the league. But to me, it's all about the quarterbacks. Is that what I've learned being in this business for a long time is that you always have something to prove. Very seldom do you get to a point where you don't have to prove anything. Everybody's looking at Lamar Jackson and saying, hey, last year you were the MVP. This year we've seen an up and down Lamar Jackson. Can you be that guy from last year? Is that who you're going to be down the stretch to catapult your team into the playoffs? And then on the other side with Baker Mayfield, maybe his best game as a pro last week. But now everybody's looking and saying, okay, now you got another good team that you're playing. Prove to us that you can do it again. So a lot of running in this game, but I got my eyes on the quarterbacks.
The operative word every time we talk about either of these teams is prove, right? Prove it to us, Kurt. I love it. I'm seeing it, and I'm going to watch for it tonight, of course. Kurt, we'll let you get back to work here on Monday night. We will see you back here on Total Access on Wednesday. For you at home, we have an injury update for you. The Panthers hopeful that Christian McCaffrey will be able to practice tomorrow with a chance to play against the Packers during Saturday's doubleheader right here on the NFL Network. Ian Rappaport providing all of that information for us, and he joins us now. Ian, with the news out of Detroit, now Matthew Stafford dealing with an injury. What's the latest with him?
Yeah, there's very few things that can keep Matthew Stafford, one of the toughest guys in the NFL, off the field, but this may actually be one. Stafford got crunched pretty good late in the Lions' loss. It is a rib injury. Spent today getting a battery of tests. X-rays were negative on his ribs. That is good, but from my understanding, Stafford is considered questionable at best to be able to play on Sunday for the Detroit Lions. Now, interim coach Darrell Bevell said they're going to take it all the way to the end of the week, try to give Stafford every opportunity to play. They know he's been able to gut through many things, but from what I understand, he was in significant pain on Sunday night, a little bit better today, but if he cannot go, Chase Daniel will ably step in for Stafford.
All right, Dan, pivoting to another team here. It's been an awful season for the Dallas Cowboys, but a little bit of affirmation today for head coach Mike McCarthy. What more can you tell us on that?
Yeah, Mike McCarthy's job is safe, despite the record, and obviously they had a little optimism coming out of Sunday with a nice blowout win for the Dallas Cowboys. Mike McCarthy is not going anywhere. This, according to Stephen Jones, said it on local radio. So that is good. McCarthy's not going to be one and done, but from what I understand, the organization and McCarthy is going to take a very hard look at the defensive side of the ball. It's been a problem all season, specifically to examine defensive coordinator Mike Nolan and his staff. All of that is coming after the season.
A lot of eyes, a lot of work to do this offseason for Dallas. Ian, thank you.
Yeah.
Still to come on NFL Total Access, there were defensive touchdowns that went for 76 yards, 78 yards, and 79. Breakout runs of 80 yards and 82. One-handed touchdown, 2 one-handed picks, and a whiteout-to-whiteout Wildcat wonder.
I can't believe it!
But what's really incredible? Not one of them sounded the baller alert. Stay tuned, because that's still to come. Plus, Ravens and Browns, the game of the week. Let's go. Who wins it and how? But first, a couple things. Who has the AFC wildcard spots today and who will have them 3 weeks from now? Next on NFL Total Access.